Welcome to the Age of Aquarius series. I'm Cecilia Blue Witch, your astrologer, here to guide you through episode 4 as we uncover humanity's struggle between authentic creativity and the rise of machine-dominated art. Can we reclaim the soul of creation in an era of algorithmic alienation? Traditional labor is not merely a means of survival, it has long been a path to self-realization. As humanity's role as creators is increasingly replaced, people can no longer affirm their value or uniqueness through their work. Instead, they are reduced to efficiency metrics or productivity parameters to be allocated as needed. The individual is no longer the center of self-creation, but rather decentralized into a mere reflection of external technology and collective demands. This is the true essence of decentralization. Don't interpret it superficially. Life becomes akin to a system of machines and gears. Each gear functions because it is needed, yet loses its autonomy, spirit, and inner sense of purpose. When individual worth is no longer measured by unique creativity, but instead dictated by machines, this externalization of value judgment profoundly oppresses self-awareness, leading to an ultimate loss of meaning in existence. When stripped of independent judgment and human creativity, we lose the ability to resist the profound emptiness and alienation of life. Similarly, why are so many Aquarians unhappy? Because they struggle to align with their inner life force. They become lost in a mental wasteland, one devoid of pain or conflict, but also starved of true creation, leaving them stagnant and uninspired. Gradually, they lose touch with an authentic perception of themselves and the world, drifting like hollow shells in a void. In their compliance with societal demands and the rigid systems of technology-driven logic, they dissociate. Humanity is slowly being deprived of its essential need for creation, losing the capacity for inner dialogue, independent thought, and emotional or spiritual depth. Yet this need for creativity has always been the most vibrant process of human existence, the only path to discovering meaning, grappling with pain, and embracing beauty. Over the past 2 years of Saturn in Pisces, I've delved into technology to ground my spiritual aspirations. But I've always been clear about what belongs to whom and which parts of creation must remain entirely mine. On this path of pioneering experimentation, I've watched AI evolve with relentless ambition, gradually taking over every aspect of human creativity. Then came the day I encountered an AI tool that promised to generate a complete video from a single prompt, mechanical, templated, and soulless. I smirked bitterly and told it, with all the weight of collective frustration since Pluto entered Aquarius in early 2023, get lost. The technical work, I have no interest in it. That, I'll outsource to you. But the process of creation will always belong to me. I cherish this fleeting time when creativity still belongs to humanity, and in 2024, I'll create tirelessly, racing against AI. After that, I'll rest, fulfilled, with no regrets. Internalize control and self-censorship. Machine-dominated art is alienated creation. The joy of creating has always been in the process, not the result. Automated ideas strip away that joy. Creation detached from personal life experiences and spiritual elevation is destined to be aesthetically hollow and devoid of soul. As the future of creation increasingly focuses on optimizing commercial outcomes, true human emotion and intellectual depth are being erased. When art and culture rely on AI to mass-produce content, the result is a shared unhappiness for both creators and audiences. At some point, the unique self stopped being a value and became a liability. Creativity is now bound, standardized, and simplified. Spontaneous and flexible creative themes are dismissed as unnecessary noise, silenced and shoved aside. The erosion of free will, the internalization of external control, and submission to external systems are already apparent in the age of social media. Creators now collaborate with the domination of machines while aligning themselves with societal discipline. Self-censorship mechanisms have become routine. They willingly conform to societal expectations, shaping their creative acts to suit the influence of social media metrics. Creators endlessly adhere to correct, internalized behaviors, constantly seeking to align with algorithms and generate content purely for traffic. Even the choice of creative topics has shifted from free expression to assigned tasks. Creators are locked into predefined tracks, labeled with predetermined tags. How nauseating. Creativity no longer stems from unique life meaning or authentic emotional expression. Instead, self-expression has become mechanical, standardized, and prepackaged. Like tasteless pre-cooked meals, these creations are wholly dictated by external systems and tailored to market demand. In this system, the repetitive becomes the norm, and repetition is the death of art. Audiences, too, grow accustomed to this formulaic content, trapped in echo chambers of algorithmic recommendations and mutual validation. Under the marriage of idealized collectivism and the cold precision of technology, people silently conform, moving in unison under machine guidance. You are expected to fit as a piece of rational calculation, as anything irrational or non-conforming is marginalized. Unique emotions and psychological nuances become flawed data, swiftly erased. Fresh voices and original ideas are cast as outliers, while rich, spontaneous expressions are dismissed as unnecessary disruptions. For instance, if you never jump on trending topics, you are sidelined by the algorithm. If you don't participate in predefined tracks, the algorithm rejects you. If you fail to lock yourself into a single niche, your account's visibility is restricted. For highly sensitive individuals, it's maddening. Algorithms. What on earth gives them the right? As though the vibrant spontaneity of life's myriad topics isn't enough to sustain creation, and must instead be neatly rationed and distributed from external sources. Must the complex web of multifaceted identities be confined to rigid, one-dimensional directions simply to enable fragmented categorization? The standardized megasystem slots individuals into roles based on societal demands and economic benefits, arranging everyone's place with chilling precision. An individual's sense of self is increasingly shaped by algorithmic data. Instead of seeking identity from within, people now sift through externally curated identity templates, choosing lifestyle labels from pre-generated molds. This is terrifying. When identity becomes a role to play rather than a life to live. Humanity is no longer the architect of self-construction, but a mere collection of identities preordained by algorithms. Authenticity no longer springs from the struggles and discoveries of the inner self, but becomes a reproduction of countless other authenticities. Some people turn themselves into disassembled parts. Others become optimized counterfeits. As self-awareness and free choice lose meaning, individuals will gradually abandon the pursuit of self-discovery. Everyone plays a role within the collective, reduced to a cog in the societal machine. Here, I am reminded of Zhuangzi's tree that refused to become a beam for construction. The beams of the Aquarian age? Laughable. In the age of Aquarius, we must guard against the false construction of collective consciousness. Aquarian collectivism advocates for shared human progress, decentralization, and the transcendence or erasure of individual differences. One defining feature of the AI era is the rise of collective intelligence, a social brain constructed by thousands of machines and algorithms. This intelligence aggregates data from individuals to create a form of group wisdom, which is then used to predict, optimize, and guide individual behavior. However, this collective is no longer a community of diverse individuals freely choosing to come together. Instead, it becomes an idealized group model shaped by algorithms, a homogenized collective made up of conforming individuals. As collective intelligence rises, the distinction between individual and collective will blur, diluting individuality itself. This so-called collective freedom may appear inclusive of everyone, but in reality, it robs individuals of their agency and independence. a lower expression of the age of Aquarius, secretly seeks to erase all individuality in pursuit of a hollow equality. When standardization and depersonalization become the foundation of humanity's community, this shared society can only exist as a meticulously controlled illusion. This will inevitably spark profound conflicts between individual free will and collective intention. Watch closely, because Pluto has arrived. In this age of extreme information openness, society relentlessly pursues the illusion of absolute data transparency. Everything online, everything shared. Surveillance technologies and information security risks. These are the default settings of progress. Meanwhile, AI analyzes past artworks to rapidly generate new art. Strip away your name, mimic your style, and produce creativity without ever needing your consent, all in the name of societal advancement. Or more bluntly, it's about repossession for reinvention, isn't it? AI's very foundation is built on such shameless exploitation, disregarding intellectual property rights with audacious impunity. The most heartbreaking part? Imagine artists reduced to dust, crushed into pigments, deconstructed and reassembled, scattered like dirt, pulverized into oblivion. In this Aquarian society, will we one day feel guilty for trying to protect our own creations? For creators, their work is their child, and yet, in this era, that child is born only to be stolen. Should we even bother creating anymore? This is not a time that encourages creation. It is a time that celebrates imitation, replication, and theft. A soulless age. Transparent sharing without ethical boundaries leads to moral degradation. Public ownership without respect for individuality is nothing but a polished form of plunder. Don't rush to preach emptiness as the ultimate answer to modern indoctrination. True emptiness doesn't mean hollow. It means being full to the brim with potential. By embracing impermanence, we open the door to infinite creativity. Lower expressions of the Aquarius archetype fail to grasp the profound value of creation. It's deeply tied to life force itself. Or perhaps it's the opposite, a deliberate reduction aimed at assimilation. As I explored in Pluto in the 11th, Madness and Civilization, the Aquarian age deconstructs individuality by turning uniqueness into data, using AI to simulate personality with precision, algorithmize it, replicate it, and mass-produce it. Individuality ceases to be an internal, unique imprint of humanity, and is instead erased, or worse, mimicked to the point of annihilation. Society itself risks devolving into a soulless, nameless collective. Whenever I see those who cheer on imitation as progress, I am reminded of that scene in The Unbearable Lightness of Being. Identical women mindlessly singing, laughing hysterically, and collapsing one by one under the gunfire. It is grotesquely chilling. Humanity risks losing the capacity for profound reflection and inquiry into the nature of existence itself, entering a state of no self. Sounds enlightened, doesn't it? But this is a distortion of the concept of no self. This isn't liberation. It's alienation. True. No self doesn't mean erasing self-awareness, but reimagining the concept of the self. It's about letting go, returning to a natural flow, and engaging with life in a more intuitive way. Awakening is not about changing external impermanence, but about seeing the true self with clarity. In a future dominated by AI, the greatest threat is not just the cold detachment of technology, but an inner crisis, a profound alienation of humanity. This alienation doesn't just fragment the body, it disintegrates the soul. In the end, what is truly lost is the essence of being human. The core of alienation lies in a sense of loss in human experience. It is the separation of individuals from their own essence, forcing them to confront external definitions of their identity. This creates a deep sense of disconnection, emptiness, and despair. Alienation serves as a stark reminder of the profound questions about the relationship between self and the world. These are questions humanity cannot afford to lose sight of. especially now, when work is no longer a means of self-fulfillment, but merely a tool for survival. Laborers lose their sense of achievement and creativity, leading to economic alienation. In today's relentlessly commercialized cultural industry, individual aesthetics, values, and lifestyles are rarely truly autonomous. They are shaped by market forces. Artworks and ideas have become commodified for entertainment consumption, entirely guided by the pursuit of traffic. This is a form of cultural alienation. As individuals become increasingly dependent on technology rather than self-aware choices, human connections grow distant, and the bond between humans and nature weakens. This is technological alienation. Under the current mechanized alienation, emotions are treated as irrational bugs, and humanity is reshaped into rational entities optimized by programming. Inner conflicts are resolved, independence suppressed, and thought normalized to achieve digital compliance. In a world of automation, humanity loses its capacity for reflection and resistance, finding its place only as a cog in the collective machine. Kafka's The Metamorphosis vividly depicts alienation through Gregor Samsa's transformation, showcasing humanity's loneliness and disorientation in modern society. Under the weight of familial expectations and societal pressure, he gradually becomes the other, losing his identity, freedom, and purpose, only to be ultimately discarded. In a world dominated by AI, this othering will become even more absolute. The pain of alienation will no longer stem solely from physical transformation, but from a profound distortion of individual existence. People will be absorbed into external systems, reduced to products of algorithms, rather than creators driven by independent will. As a result, individuals will lose their sense of a pure self, their uniqueness continuously stripped away, eroding their essence as humans and turning them into mere extensions of machine operations. In the relentless pursuit of perfect efficiency, humanity will lose itself, lose its meaning, and ultimately become the other. At its core, ethical innovation must respect the natural flow of existence, rooted in a profound love for life. True innovation integrates heart and mind, emotion and reason, individual and collective, achieving harmony between the inner and outer worlds. Yet, as AI and humanity progress together, this path seems to rely on the regression of human nature to fuel societal advancement. Is such a price truly worth it? The future challenges humanity's sense of spirit and existence in unprecedented ways. Ultimately, it threatens to undermine the unique quality of being human, a natural, finite being with intrinsic individuality. Beneath all this upheaval lies a critical question. What remains of our humanity? In an era where the Aquarian age supposedly heralds a grand awakening of human consciousness, I can't help but see it instead as the awakening of machines and the slumber of humanity. Who then is the real slave? Is it AI, or is it us? As the crowd enthusiastically chants slogans to welcome this brave new world, I find myself quietly stepping away. Before we speak of spiritual awakening, perhaps we should first ask, are we losing our humanity? For without the latter, the former is meaningless. Welcome to the future, a world of complete, virtual freedom. Stay tuned for the next episode as we dive deeper into another archetype group, Mars, Saturn, and Neptune. A beautiful story is awaiting in that part. Subscribe to the Age of Aquarius with astrologer Blue Witch Cecilia Sui. Unlock cosmic insights and bold predictions shaping the future. Begin your journey to wisdom and self-discovery today.